I'm determined not to waste a single tomato plant this year. We did grow a few more than we needed. We grow round about the same amount every year to fill these greenhouses, but we've used one greenhouse this year strictly for peppers. So we've got a few plants left over. But this side of the greenhouse has got nothing in it at the moment. We've done that side, we've filled it with tomato plants, and they're called sweet million. They're an indeterminate cherry tomato. And I've still got some plants left. And once again, very big sized plants. But they're going to have problems really soon with these roots. They're starting to get quite dense in there now. And if we don't do something with these tomato plants soon, it'll be too late. I'm going to clear all this ground over, give it a quick dig, and we're putting these cherry tomato plants in today. And this is as far as I've got. I've just started, to be fair, so we're just chopping away all this overgrown grass. So we'll get this raked out, I'll dig it over and we'll get these plants sorted out. It's never hard going when you're digging your greenhouses over, since we dig them over every single year. So I don't know why we put things off for so long. This will be dug and then tomatoes are going to be in probably in the next 10 minutes. Apart from putting new plants in, we have got a certain amount of maintenance to do as well. We've just put loads of canes at the side of each of these tomato plants, so we can tie them to them as they grow upwards. And then we've just secured it with a bit of string, looped it round cane all the way along, then tied it off on the other side, and then we can move them to keep them straight. And I've started doing that on both sides now. So all we need to do is maintain these plants as well. So I'll just give that a quick rake just to get rid of a few weeds and we'll be good to go. Watch that watering in your containers. I've just given this a deep watering because you can see it's starting to go a little bit limp. It'll pick up alright, but as it gets hotter next weekend, that's something you're definitely going to have to keep your eye on, because now we've got even bigger tomatoes growing. Meanwhile, this courgette that's doing really well has now got another one on it. You can see that there. We've got 2 fruits on this at the moment and lots more growth. And that's that done. This time I'm remembering to put some feed in them holes. I forgot every single one last time. And as always, when I'm planting these, take away those bottom leaves. They're finished. I'm doing these about 18 inch apart. Those little tomato baskets are starting to pick up a bit as well now. So there's plenty on go, but your maintenance side of things is going to be mainly bottoms of your tomato plants. Take off any bottom leaves like that, just get rid of them,
They're too close to the compost, so they're going to keep getting splashed. You're not going to get anything from leaves like this. So you're better off keeping the base clear like that. And do that on every plant that you've got. We've already been doing this one, and you can see we've taken it quite a way up that stem to keep it nice and clear for watering, and it's getting loads and loads of flowers on top now. And we've also started tying it off, take pressure off of these branches. And we've done exactly the same with these plants. We started clearing around this bottom here. Some of these branches are quite big and they're hanging low, so I'll probably tie those up to them canes. But again, these plants are now starting to flower.
That's a really good sized plant, considering it's been in a 9cm pot. And so's that one. Really big plant. But desperate to be moved. Last one going in. That's another 5.
And the same goes for all your plants that you've got outside. You can see that we've got small leaves really close to the ground, so we need to be taking those off. And then make a nice clear stem. And same with this one. Really low down leaves. Take them off. Takes a couple of minutes to do this, but it's going to be well worth it in the end. Even that one, quite big, I'll take it away because it's too close to the ground.
So we finally got that done. We've used the rest of those sweet million plants, but we have still got a few of those cherry falls, and they're the dwarf varieties, the determinate kind. So they only grow about that size. And I don't want to waste them because there's nothing better than sweet, ripe, red cherry tomatoes, especially on your salads in summer. So we're going to put them in some other containers. And I'm just going to put them in these. They're not massive containers, but for a dwarf variety of tomato, I think they're a perfect size. And then that's going to be all as tomato plants gone, I think. And you can see that these plants are in desperate need of being moved. They're absolutely full of flowers, trying to grow us little cherry tomatoes. These two at the bottom we'll take away. And then I'll bury this plant right down to there. And these containers aren't going to take up any space. Just pop a bit of feed in the bottom of that as well. We've only got a little bit left, so trying to make it last. Let's have a look at roots. Same as those other plants really. Getting quite dense, definitely need moving. So I'm going to pop that in there and I'm going to press that down and then infill around it, burying some of that stem at the same time, and that'll do. So that's the cherry falls done now. And we've only got 4 of those left, because for some reason this container is a container in a container, and I don't know why we've done that. I must have forgot about this one, but what's happened is the roots have grown through this little container into compost and out at the bottom. That's how desperate this plant is to be moved on. And from what I can tell, that's one of those Italian plum tomatoes, so we better get something done with that. But that just shows you the resilience of these plants. Little holes in bottom of pots, and they'll force enough roots through so they can get to that nutrition below. So if I get all these potted on today, That's another job well done. All those cherry falls in their own containers. This side of greenhouse finished, almost. I left a gap at that end of greenhouse for a reason, because we're going to be putting something else in there, but not today. So we'll get these done, and then tomorrow we can start from fresh, have a look at what else we've got left out there, because there is still 1 or 2 plants, and we'll decide on that day's job. And if you want to see what we're going to be doing, please hit that subscribe button and press that notifications bell, and we'll see you then. Take care.